All right. I assume that I'm live now. I'm still having a little bit of just want to check one little hiccupy thing before, and I don't want to start and then not have it actually be going live. Let's see here. It should be going. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. If you can hear me, let me know. And otherwise, let's see here. Okay. It looks like things are okay. Great. Thanks, Brian. Appreciate that. All right. Excellent. Yep. Still working out how to actually see that I'm live, but it looks like all is good. So I have been waiting since last night, actually, to take a look at one of these fan cams, and it turns out that somebody has made a pretty good multicam edit. So that's great news. Of Sharks, of course. The Warrning in Liverpool playing Sharks last night. One of the last songs that we haven't heard yet off the album. I'm trying to think. We've heard Consume, we've heard Escapism, we've heard Satisfied, and there were only 5 songs that didn't come out before. But in any case, I want to thank everybody for coming along. Yeah, oh yeah. I am planning on seeing them on September 13 in Boston, along with Adrian, actually. So that should be fun. All right, it looks like I'm set up properly here, so let's just go right ahead and see if we can get started on this Sharks video. Guys, all right. Hearing everything okay? Leave that going for a second here. I'm going to assume Pau is feeling better. Kind of seems that way. Yeah, I imagine it is. I noticed that they used the drum machine for part of the drum track while she was belting out something, and yeah, I wonder about how. I mean, she must be feeling better. That's my hope. If they're debuting a song that she's lead singing on. If I were to go past that, let me think. Boy, it sounded great. It sounded so muscular live. Much more so even than the record. These things always come to life when you're looking at them. When you're looking at them live, as opposed to playing the CD or the record or what have you. So, excellent song, excellent job. Really glad to see that show up in the lineup now. I would keep going. I think this is the only one that I've seen multicammed at this point. There are a few other videos, but I also said I wanted to try to do the Ryan Roxy interview today, and that's nearly an hour long, so I think maybe I'm going to switch over to that, if you don't mind, and maybe come back to this gig later. It seems that there's a number of quality clips coming out, so maybe I can just dedicate either a live stream or perhaps some videos to that. It sounds like there's some pretty good quality media coming out of that show. And I'm also looking at Neem, by the way, thinking that it might be nice to go through all of those as well, maybe in a live stream, so we can do more at the same time. So, all right, so with that, let me see what I can do. Just hang on for a second. That's right, I'm going to be in Boston, and it's going to be so amazing. I cannot wait. Maybe not on this one. Couldn't really, I should have checked that a little bit more closely. Perhaps not. I know that Pau does a lot of those vocals, including the don't breathe, don't breathe. Yeah, there's, better late than never, Brian. It's okay with me if it takes us a little longer to get to the, it just means that we have lots of stuff to watch now that's accumulated over the years. And I don't know if we're ever going to actually get to the bottom of all of it. It's just so much. All right, well, anyway, let me go ahead and take a look at the Ryan interview. In fact, let me see if I can just get a little info ahead of time here. There it is. Okay. So Ryan Roxie, of course, doing the interviewing, has a YouTube channel with 15,000 subscribers. This has gotten 32,000 views since last year, November 4, 2022, and has a number of people working for him. It says, yes, Ryan Roxie is a podcast hosted by Alice Cooper guitarist Ryan Roxie. That's right, that's where I knew his name. Okay, very good. Why don't we take a look at this?
Today's episode of In the Trenches is brought to you by System 12 Guitar Method. Sign up today at ryanroxy.com.
Oh. That's kind of a strange irony.
In the
nudge,
Trenches,
nudge, wink, wink.
Ryan Roxy.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of In the Trenches. I am your host, Ryan Roxy. What is happening, folks? I'm in a squeaky chair right now. I'm not in my normal studio in Europe. I am vacationing in Florida because Alice Cooper just wrapped up the last shows of the year, and I thought I'd take a couple days. Hey, there we are. There's Vic Chalfant putting it out there. Over on stage right, our big shout out to Chris Wise, who filled in on bass as Chuck Garrick was on the KISS
Alice
cruise.
Cooper.
So Chris Wise came in there, kicked ass, and we did some great shows. It was a show with the Misfits. Then we did a private Halloween show. But you know what? Enough about me. It's about you guys. It's about you guys right now hitting that subscribe button, hitting the like button, helping us out with the algorithm. If you're listening to us on an audio broadcast,
Alice Cooper would have been 74 at the time of this interview. Good on him.
That's the official YouTube channel, because that's where we get the views, and that's where you get to see our guests, and it's where you get to be into the live chat, where we love having you in the live chat right now. Hello, everybody. Hello, Lynn. Thanks again, everyone, for supporting and tuning into the podcast. We've done a few during the last couple weeks because I've been touring. That we're going to get more on a consistent schedule in the coming months. But yeah, we've had some great shows. We had some great guests, and today is
great to have you here.
Definitely one of the best we're going to have. That's the way I'm looking at it anyway. So let's dive in, shall we?
All right.
It's truly great to see the rise of a band from its early stages of jamming to playing huge stages all around the world. Our guests today totally prove that rock and roll is family, and blood runs deep in the veins of these three sisters that have been winning over the audiences at every big rock show. They've been sharing those big stages with bands like Guns N' Roses, Foo Fighters, Hailstorm, and a whole lot more. And here to talk about all those things rock, plus the newest album, Air, that is out on Lava Republic Records. Please welcome into the trenches, Daniela, Paulina, and Alejandra from the band, The Warrning. Hello, girls.
Hey.
Well, I hope my squeaky chair isn't going to take too much of the sound bites over there, because we want to hear you guys as well. But welcome to In the Trenches. Thank you guys so much for taking the time, because we were talking right before we started the show. You guys are about ready to take off on a plane tomorrow to start yet another tour all the way in Canada. So where are you guys right now? Are you in Mexico right now?
Yes. We're in our hometown, Monterrey, Mexico. We leave tomorrow.
Very nice.
You're going to notice that our producer picks out some great ones. I mean, I don't think he took that shot because he's a photographer as well, but I think he got the nearest postcard of Monterrey, Mexico. And we might as well, go back to get forward, Vic, because we are talking a little bit of history with The Warrning. Here we are. Let's hit it, Vic. So Daniela, Paulina, and Alejandra, The Warrning, you guys formed in Monterrey, Mexico. I met you guys very early on when you had just, not when you just started, I don't think, but it was early on in the early days of The Warrning.
9 years ago.
We played a show. What was that show that we played in Monterrey?
It was a festival. It was called Mother of All Rock Festivals. It was in Monterrey, Mexico. It was like one of our first big festivals in Monterrey.
Mm-hmm.
Long time ago. I think I was 15.
We look like babies.
Yeah.
I know. And I remember your manager, Rudy.
Yeah.
That works in your magic. He was very instrumental in introducing me to, I think it was a crow that was like a bird that was. Did you remember that bird that was just hanging out? Did you hold the bird?
Yes, I did. It was really.
I did hold the bird.
And do you remember the other bands that were on that festival when we first played?
Oh, for Pete's sake!
It was Vince Neil. It was Tyler Bryan and the Shakedown, Tesla.
Yeah, just seeing that picture, I can understand why maybe they had a problem getting people to take them seriously. Just had to say.
Buck Cherry was on that. Wasn't Buck Cherry on there? Yeah. So there you go. So that started out, a bunch of touring and a bunch of just probably a whirlwind. And you can see from these early pictures, you guys have been into it from an early age. Who was the first one to pick up an instrument of the three of you?
It was at the same time.
Yeah.
Danny and I picked up the piano. I was 4. She was 6.
Yes.
Ale was like a year old at that time.
So no instruments for her at that
but
time.
After that, we played the piano for a while. We played classical music. And then our parents bought us the video game, The Rock Band. And that's when we really fell in love with rock and roll. And we picked our instruments from that game. Danny picked the guitar.
And technically, I was the first to pick another instrument, and I went with the guitar. But Pau was so good at the video game and the fake drums. I was just like, "Do you want to play the drums?" And my sister was like, "Yes." So we kind of started at the same time, just months apart.
Yeah,
I love it. Yeah, because it's you guys are all listed. I mean, you all sing, but plus you all play piano. So was that kind of like the first one that started, the first instrument that started it all?
Yes, definitely. And I feel like the piano plays a very big part in the band today, especially how we write. Because when I start writing, I don't play the guitar. I wish I did, but I've
tried teaching.
It's not my thing. I've come to peace with it. But so the piano is great for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're building quite a name for yourself with your drums as well. I mean, because you are like, you're center stage, you're center, in a lot of photos, you're center photo as well. And Sabian seems to love you. What are the drum companies that you're working with now?
Oh, so I'm part of the Sabian family, and I'm not part of the other families, but I play with DW and Big Bird. Yeah.
There you go. So shout out to some companies drum companies. Always like to give them that as well. And what are your guys' weapons of choice when it comes to guitars?
The Raiders. Look at that.
Whatever's right for the song, or do you have a particular kind that you like especially?
I would love to go whatever's right for the song, but I can't travel with that many guitars at this point. But one day I will.
You will.
Yeah. But I'm part of the PRS family as of right now, and I love my PRSs. And in my touring case right now, I have a Gibson Explorer that was gifted to me by Lizzie Hale.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
I know.
Is it one of her signature series?
Yeah. No. He actually
it has a
said
story.
that they worked with Gibson to make one specifically for me, so that I feel like comfortable in it.
Wow.
That's like, yeah.
Even better.
I just want to mention, I thought that there had been a story about that Gibson Explorer being given to Lizzie first by somebody else in 2006. Must have been a different guitar, sounds like. And I just made the connection that this interview was just days after, Dia de Muertos of 2022. This says November 4. So notice the Raiders jacket. And in fact, we just looked at the after movie and we're kind of wondering why they were at the stadium there for the Raiders. Anyway, I'm making connections here. Let's keep going.
You better.
Yes.
And Alejandra, what kind of basses and bass gear are you playing with?
So I am part of the Spectre family, which I started playing Spectre like 4 years ago, maybe.
I think so. Yeah.
And it was the first like full scale bass I ever used, and now I play with a 5-string bass. And
Wow.
I love my Spectre bass, I really do.
Yeah.
And we both play with orange amps.
Oh yeah. Forgot about the amps.
Well, what about I'm curious about the
Amps are
5-string
cool.
bass, because I play with so many bass players that have the 4-string traditional. When did you make the transition, and do you find the 5-string bass really helps you out as a trio?
Yeah, so a lot of our songs I had to tune down my E string when I used
Right.
the 5-string bass.
Drop D.
Yeah, no, not even drop D. Like I used to
went
go
all the
all
way
the way to like C sharp, and
Oh my gosh.
the E string sounded horrible.
Yeah, that'd be
And-
Too floppy.
Yeah.
And so I was like, maybe I should start playing with a 5-string bass because we really do use those low
A
notes
lot.
because we are a trio. And I started playing a 5-string bass like 3 years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
I think.
You actually got used to it like mid-pandemic.
Yeah, I got
we
used
weren't
to it
even
in the
playing
pandemic.
live. Yeah.
And honestly, it worked out really well because I had time to like get used to it.
Learn it, yeah.
Yeah, and it honestly helps a lot. I really do like playing with a 5-string bass, and I feel like if I grab a 4-string bass, I will miss that,
That lower. Yeah, I got you. That's cool. That's
Yeah.
good. You know what? That's about the most amount of questions I think we've ever had on the podcast about bass. And we've
Good
had
job,
lots
guys.
of bass players on as well. But here's the thing. I see a lot of comments coming up, and honestly, if you're listening to this on the audio broadcast, we want you on the Ryan Roxy official YouTube channel so you can not only be in the live chat, but you can also see the warning, and you can see all these great comments that are coming up and be part of the live chat. There's a lot of people that are excited to see you because you're in Mexico tonight or today, but then tomorrow you are flying to start yet another tour in good old Canada. So you're flying over the U.S. And tell us about this next tour and what's happening like basically tomorrow.
Okay.
Great.
So this is a tour we're doing with 3 Days Grace. We were invited by them to open up their shows in this leg of their tour. We're super excited.
Yeah.
We've been to Canada before, and we played a couple of headlining shows. and the people are just great.
Yeah,
So it's really
great.
exciting to go back and not only go back and like play, but sharing the stage with 3 Days Grace, which is a band that we've listened to like in our. I was gonna say in our like our younger days, but we're still really young, so that doesn't.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be awesome. We're
be
kind of
so great.
nervous about the cold.
Oh,
I mean, we're from Mexico. It doesn't get that cold over here.
No.
So
Well, we were talking about what you're going to actually pack, and I said, you know, the last couple Alice tours, I've been trying to pack as little as possible in my bag because I always end up bringing back more stuff when I'm done with the tour. But for this one, especially we're in November 22. You know, global warming isn't that intense yet, so I think Canada is still going to be a little bit cold. If I were you, I'd bring at least a sweater.
at least we're packing like really big jackets and
gloves, everything.
and
You
earmuffs
actually
and
have like
scarves.
a ski mask.
Yeah, I have like a ski mask that you can only see. I'm super nervous about the cold.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
Yeah, November, Canada in November probably is pretty cold. But that is funny. Ski mask? I don't know. Gosh, I had some point, and I'm sorry. I seem to have lost it. That's okay. Let's continue.
like
Hello.
like it's gonna be like -20. Oh, in Celsius. I don't know Fahrenheit.
Well, good luck with 3 Days Grace on that tour. Stay warm, obviously. But I mean, this is just one of many, many shows that you've already had this year. And I think your manager Rudy sent over a picture of all the tour dates that you have been doing. I think it's just for this year, maybe some of last year. But it's almost with radio and TV appearances. You've done over 100 dates. Is that true?
Yeah, that's
this is only like this year.
Yeah.
And this is like from February on.
Wow.
It's
Well,
busy.
that dives us into the actual mode of touring because there's with the band, you know, you learned how to play. You cut your teeth in Monterrey, Mexico. You put the first album out, I believe it was in 2017, right? With 21st Century Blood. Was that the first album?
Yeah.
And then, but between going in the studio, you're constantly touring. I think one of the most challenging things about being.
Yeah, sorry, not to stop again. Yeah, I've got to get better at that. I had to type something for a moment, and so I muted because I've learned that my keys come through loud and clear. So, but then I've got to remember to turn it back on. Anyway, I was saying that 3 Days Grace, their first 3 albums went at least platinum. They went double platinum, triple platinum, and platinum. So, good band to hook up with for a tour, for sure. Yeah, thanks. Thank you, Warren. Yeah, I figured it out. I've got it all going here. Was this the same Canadian tour where they ended up getting sick? And maybe somebody knows. Or maybe that happens every time they go to Canada. I'm not sure. All right.
On tour is the off stage. You know, it's not the time you spend on stage, it's the time you spend off stage. So I'm not going to give myself credit for this question because I'm going to give myself credit to a Canadian. This is a little version of the show that we call Let the People Speak. And I know, Vic, I'm coming in a little bit before it's supposed to come in, but that's okay because this is Let the People Speak, and it's coming from a Canadian because you guys are going to Canada. He plays in a band called Sticks and Stones. Nick Lasante, he's in a band with his brother. So he has a couple questions, if you don't mind. Vic, run it.
Of course.
So like I said, this is a special one-off of Let the People Speak because Nick Lasante and his band Sticks and Stones, he's playing with his brother. His question is, I'm in a band with my brother. Does touring with your siblings have any downfall? Is it easier? Because
Let's just ask Creedence Clearwater Revival about that, or perhaps Oasis. Then again, there were the Allman Brothers, and they got along fine, although that was kind of a short association. Anyway.
heard of the whole thing, like if they fight like brothers, does the same go for sisters, or does it get along?
We get along great.
Yes.
We have a really good relationship with each other.
I have to say, I love this question because we usually get like, what is it being in a band with sisters? But this is touring with your siblings.
It's
It's different.
And we've shared a room our whole lives.
Yes.
So we know what it's like to be with each other all the time. When you're touring, I feel like at one point you're just so tired. But I feel like the little fights that we have is usually like who has to go down to the lobby to like receive the Uber Eats. Or like
Not
who
Pal.
gets to shower first because we have like 15 minutes to shower and get in the tour bus. That type of thing.
I'm kidding.
But
I'm kidding.
I mean, you just get a little pissed, but it's actually really easy.
Yeah, I know.
Like we get along great, and we
Have
know.
you reached the point of separate dressing rooms yet? Or
Oh,
is it,
no,
all right.
no, no.
All right. So it's not the point of separate tour buses and separate.
It's not 3
dressing rooms
Learjets
just
yet. Yeah.
Oh,
Great.
no.
Not Motley Crue yet. You are not Motley Crue yet. And you know what? You won't be, because you know what? I have a feeling that you will be together for years and years to come, because you have so much. You've just started, but you have so much to go with. The second question Nick Lasante had is, how are you girls balancing touring and education?
Okay.
So-
Yeah.
So we finished high school. The three of us, we graduated from high school. What was it like? You and I, we graduated like a year ago, I think. Danny graduated a long time ago. And right now, as of right now, we're not studying.
We're focusing 100%
on the music.
on the music and the band.
But it was really important to us to graduate high school.
Yes.
Like to get to that point, at least. And we're not close to like on the road or something, like starting to study something else.
Mm-hmm.
But as of right now, like it's been 100% the touring life. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
I imagine.
So, that being said,
work all the time.
Did music play a part when you were going to high school, or did you guys learn on your own? Did you learn from YouTube, or were you in the school band, or did you have private lessons?
We had private lessons our whole lives.
Our whole lives.
Yeah.
And with different teachers,
Yeah.
we like to have different like points of view in music and
It was
everything.
really cool.
But yeah, music did play a big part of our lives in high school and middle school. Well, high school for me, middle school for them.
Yeah.
Because we were, that first record that we made, 21st Century Blood, we were in the middle of the school year.
Yeah,
So,
I was in 7th grade at that time.
yeah.
Holy crap. Okay.
We would just
I
like
was
go
in
in
5th
and out.
grade. You were in 5th grade. That's insane.
I was making 4-track demos in 7th grade. I wasn't making 48-track albums, but that's amazing. So, that being said, do you still go on YouTube and learn stuff from other musicians, or when you're touring with these bands like Hailstorm, Pretty Reckless, and some other huge, opening shows, like you opened up for the Foo Fighters and Guns N' Roses? There's the tour that you did with Hailstorm and Pretty Reckless. What sort of things have you learned from those bigger bands?
Oh, well, I feel like a lot.
A
Like,
lot.
you just, like, I feel like when you're experiencing these things, you grow so much as a person and as a musician. It's insane. Every time we come back from the tours, we're like, oh my God, we've changed so much.
Yes.
And it's always very inspiring to be on these shows and just seeing these great musicians, these great people, and not only like the band itself, but like the whole crew.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so inspiring to see that and see how people work, because it's a really big team. It takes
Right.
so many people to make things work, and to start learning from them and seeing how we can start applying things that they do to our, because we're a small team, of course, we're just starting out, but I feel like we have, like, I feel like everyone says this, but I feel like we have the best team in the world. And we're all just like a very big family, and it's really
And then obviously you have a huge a team of fans and supporters, because when I went on to tag you guys for the promo of this podcast, there were, the Warrning Argentina, the Warrning in Austria, the Warrning. So you have a lot of different fan bases all over the world. And I think that's only going to help for, the future as well. Keep building.
Sure. We feel very supported by our fans. And it's really inspiring how we see with each show how our fan base grows. And it's just really motivating to keep doing what we're doing. Yeah.
Well, there was a cool review of you guys where it said you guys just don't warm the crowd up, you set them on fire.
I
So
love that.
So that was pretty cool, and I saw from one of these.
Just curious if anybody knows where that photo was from. Obviously a huge space, so they must have been opening for a big act. Let me know.
Live comments that's in our live chat. If you are there, thank you for putting in all these live comments on our YouTube channel. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button right there, so it helps us out with the algorithm and gets more people, more eyeballs on the Warrning, if you will. But one of the comments that was really cool that said, hey, will we see you in Europe in 2023? Because my first question, have you properly toured Europe yet? And B, when will that happen?
Oh my God.
We haven't toured Europe.
No.
We've been last year. I think
we've been trying.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we had a show scheduled, but then the pandemic hit, and it was just a bit funky.
Yeah.
But hopefully next year we can visit Europe.
I feel obligated to mention this. We have just started taking a look at that show that they're talking about at Bush Hall in London in May of that year. So I think it was the second show on the tour. So yeah, timing is everything, right?
Our bucket list, and we know that we have a lot of fans over there, and we really want to visit them.
And we wanna separate a good, chunk of time
if we're gonna
properly
go to Europe,
visit.
Do a whole tour over there.
Yeah.
So hopefully next year we can figure something out, and we're itching to go.
There you go. Well, hey, you know what? We have this thing on the podcast that we call Hot Topics, and it's kind of some hot button issues every once in a while. There you go. Thank you very much for putting that amazing logo up, Hot Topics. But one of the questions that we just had a lead singer of 6 a.m., James Michael, on a recent podcast interview, was about backing tracks and whether you think that backing tracks is something, because you are a power trio and you guys have probably started out, just as bass, drums, and guitar. But as you progress, as the albums progress, as you get larger and larger, what is your feelings about using backing tracks? And being that you all sing already, do you use any backing tracks to support the sound, and is it that big of a deal, for younger bands and younger crowds, or do people just kind of accept it?
Okay, I feel like backing tracks are sometimes, like, for us that we're a power trio, like when Danny solos, if we have backing tracks there to have like some sort of guitar.
Some sort of bass. Yeah, some sort of foundation, a layering of a guitar perhaps.
If we could have another musician with us, that'd be fantastic. But we can't. So I feel like backing tracks, especially with starting bands, it's a huge thing. You feel very supported, and when you're writing, you have certain freedom to do whatever you want because that you can kind of have it there. I feel like there's a fine line when
overdoing it.
Yes, if you can hear more backing tracks than the actual band, well, it's kind of
or if you don't have the backing tracks, your song doesn't work. That's where you have
sometimes things go wrong in the show, and
if
you have to be able to
play without the backing tracks for it to be good. And also a lot of things that we use, sometimes we have backing tracks that we don't put on the PA, and we just have them for in-ears. That also
they help you guys out.
Yeah,
exactly.
Okay.
So I feel like it depends on how you use them. They're a good tool.
Plus, you play them yourself.
Exactly.
It's at the end of the day, it's something that I can't play, so I have to.
It's just sometimes that I can't physically play because I don't have 4 arms.
Or some sort of sound effects.
Oh how are we gonna do I don't know, a siren sound?
Yep.
Yeah.
Danny screaming.
Or in Alice Cooper's position, some sort of Frankenstein, screaming or something like that. Yeah. The sound of the guillotine cutting off a head is just like, you can only get that through a sample. We can't do that live every single night.
Just to mention, first of all, I have no problem with the backing tracks, particularly in the way that they use them, because they're kind of like a garnish, or perhaps just a little bit of a backing thing that you can follow along with. I don't see any problem at all with what they're doing. I feel a little less sure about when bands are using them really heavily and absolutely need them and can't play without them. Clearly, this band can play with them. Anyway, I thought I'd throw that out there. I actually like the way that they use them, because you just, every once in a while, you'll hear, like I say, a Danny screaming, maybe a little bit of a keyboard riff or something little. And we just saw in Sharks where they put in the extra drum kit, drum machine or what have you. And it all works great. So whatever we can do, I mean, you can kind of look at this band as maybe not more maybe more theatrical than a lot of bands in terms of how they think anyway, how they stage their songs in their heads, Anyway, let's keep going.
With backing tracks is great as long as they don't become the band, in my opinion.
No, that's a great answer. That's a great answer to it. That being said, Alejandra, you kind of alluded to the fact that things do go wrong every once in a while. So you have, when it comes down to it, you've done some just bass, drums, and guitar shows.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
Many times.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're really proud of this, but sometimes the computer just fails, or my MIDI pedals fail or whatever, and no one notices. We just stop playing with the click and with the stems, and we're just playing ourselves.
Yeah,
but
there's a certain power.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that's amazing answer to this question.
Actually, this is a good time also just to note, a lot of these comments have been great. I know that the guy Mike Thomas here has made a lot of them. I don't know if anybody here knows him. Perhaps you do. And it's true, Rush has occasionally used backing tracks, although they don't use a lot of backing tracks, as I understand it. A lot of stuff is triggered with their feet. So, again, though, it doesn't really bother me. I mean, the things that they do. I do know that back when they did Xanadu, which is one of their biggest tracks, back in '77, that's probably my favorite Rush song. There was not a heck of a lot, other than perhaps particular jungle sounds, things going on in the beginning. But a lot of that was Neil playing live, his incredible percussion kit. But yes, even they have used them, and to great effect. So as long as I'm concerned, as long as the band can function without them and still sound great, which is definitely true for both bands, Rush and The Warrning, then everything's kosher. Everything's cool.
Of having it. I talked about my second hot topic of the day, because I know this is going quite quick. It's kind of rapid fire. Maybe it's because you guys, are, just so young, vivacious, and ready
Sisters.
to go and ready to tour, and you're going to Canada tomorrow. I have a million questions, but at the same time, it's like, there's no other sisters that we know about, or sisters. Okay. So are you open to the fact of adding somebody down the road if the budget permitted to add to the band? Is that
Would the
something
fans
you've
be
ever
open
talked
to
about?
it?
Or are you going to keep it like the way Green Day is basically now a 5-piece, or
Right.
maybe even more? I don't know how many people they have on stage. It keeps growing and growing every single tour. But do you guys ever think like, maybe we could add someone on the live show as a member, or do you want to keep it as a trio?
Honestly, I feel
we've
like we're
never
not.
talked.
But I feel like we're not
Exactly,
close
Mike.
to like
Yeah.
No.
They
far
do.
away future.
You
Like,
know.
imagine having so I feel like it's a lot of work, but somebody who can play the guitar during your solos,
Yes.
like foundation guitar,
Keywords.
and somebody could launch the
Yeah.
computer things and not having
some live samples or something like that, perhaps.
One of our biggest inspirations ever,
Great pick.
live and musically in general, is Muse, and they actually
yeah,
have
they have that.
they
like, a
have
keyboardist,
an everyone
guitar,
musician,
percussionist.
yes,
A utility guy. Yeah.
So we're not
He's
close
amazing
to
with
it.
it.
That'd be
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
yes.
But right
Now-
now, I feel like we're good.
We're good. Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
Well, you opened the door with Muse. Have you been in contact with Muse? Have you ever done a show with Muse?
We've
Well,
never done a show with me.
We just played in the same festival though. We did an aftershock.
We played in the same festival. We've seen them like 5 times live. They reposted some of her stuff various times.
Yes.
We haven't opened for them though.
No.
It's one of those bands.
We're putting it out there right now. We are putting it out there right now. Muse?
Yes.
Good. Well, I mean, you know what? When you put things out there, they tend to happen. They tend to, and even if it takes years and years and years, things actually do manifest themselves, because that is one of the questions that you had. One of the first viral videos you guys ever had was Enter Sandman by Metallica. And then you actually are now part of an album with Metallica called The Blacklist.
Yes, they are.
How did that all come about? And did it have anything to do with, 7 years ago making that viral video of Enter Sandman?
Oh, it definitely did. Yeah.
Yes.
We had a history with this album, with this song. And we were invited by Metallica along with Alessia Cara. We were going to do this. We were going to do this song together, this version. And it was a roller coaster. It was just insane. We had a week to make the arrangement, do the new version of the song, record it, mix it, master it,
everything.
And we had a week to do that. And so we celebrated for 5 minutes, and we were like, we have to go to work right away. Yeah. So we worked with Matt Squire, who was our producer for this song. He traveled to Mexico, to our hometown, and we worked really quickly.
And Alessia was in Canada.
Yeah, she worked remotely from Canada. It was insane, but it was really cool to approach this song. It was really nerve-wracking as well. How do you change such an iconic song like Enter Sandman?
Because that was the instructions. We don't want a cover. We want a version.
And we're like, oh my god, okay. And some of the artists that were on the lineup, them just doing a rock version would be the cover itself, because they're not rock artists. But since they rock, we were like, how do we do this, man? It was really
Alessia Cara is basically a pop, known for being a pop singer, songwriter. So how did that relationship of the two of you, did you guys know each other before this happened, or how did you guys end up hooking up together?
No. So we have the same management team, and that's how we
kind of her.
But we met her through working on this version. Yeah. We met through Zoom, and now we played the song live together. We played it in LA, and we met her.
She's the sweetest person.
She's so nice. She's a great person. Yeah. She's an incredible musician. It was an honor to work with her, honestly. It was such
maybe someday Metallica, The Warrning, and Alessia Cara will play this song together. That would be something.
Imagine.
We'll put that out to the world as well.
For sure.
Boy, the job they did on that song was so incredible. I just have to shout it out again. I mean, the transformation that it went through, and under pressure, really, and working with people you haven't met before, it came out way better than anybody had any right to expect.
I love it. Well, hey, everybody, we are hanging out with The Warrning, and of course, now let me see if I can get it all right. I know I can. If you're looking at the screen right now, on your left, that's Alejandra on the bass guitar. In the center, that is Daniela. And on the right, that's drums, Paulina. There you go. And Danielle plays guitar and sings. And everybody sings. Everybody plays. In the live show, does everybody get to have their moments of a lead sort of front song?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, Ale doesn't like singing.
I don't really like singing.
So he doesn't have her moment because she doesn't like.
You had a tiny moment though.
Yeah. Next album.
But I really don't want it.
I just want to tell you if you put me a lead part.
Yeah. Like when Danny gets sick, and
the show must go on.
Yeah.
I have to sing a few songs, and I don't like it. I really don't. So
technically, yes, she does have.
I love it. Well, hey, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back, and we're going to talk a little bit about all the newest stuff that's been happening to you, the new single, the new album, Air, that is out on Lava Records. And, of course, we're going to talk about learning guitar, and I will Vic, I'll just put out a little bit of System 12 because I have a guitar learning system. Everybody here that's on screen right now knows how to play their instruments, but if you're just thinking about diving into some rock and roll and you want to learn how all the fundamentals and the foundation of playing guitar, why don't you check out System 12? Vic, you want to run that? Thanks so much, man.
Hello, Ryan Roxie here from the Alice Cooper Band, and I'd like to talk a little bit about one of my favorite things, playing guitar. Here at the RGA headquarters, which stands for Roxy Guitar.
I hate to move it forward, so I think I'm just going to take a
guitar learning
quick moment and be
get
right
you
back.
playing and understanding
and let this
guitar
run.
faster than any other teaching
Give me a
program
second,
out
folks.
there. We call it the System 12 Guitar Method. It's designed to make the most out of your time, your effort, and your passion for learning guitar. By combining new school technology, old school mentoring, and the number 12, we have invented a new way to teach guitar. And over the past year, we have helped so many people who wanted to start or continue their guitar journey do exactly that. Now, we'd like to help you. There's never been a better time to start learning guitar than right now. If you think it's too hard, the System 12 makes it easy. If you think it'll take too much time, the System 12 will have you playing in 12 weeks. And if you think it's too expensive, the entire System 12 costs less than what one private guitar lesson would cost you at your local music store. Check out the official site or the links below in the description of this video to join the RGA and get started on your guitar journey with the System 12 Guitar Method. Now, let's get back into the trenches for some more rock and roll. Enjoy the show, enjoy the ride. Mwah! That's it.
Thank you very much, and welcome back to, I guess you could say, part 2 of The Warning. The Warning is about ready to head off on a Canadian tour in support of their newest record called Air. The newest singles we talked about, you had a couple of them recently. The latest video is Money. And
I'm waiting for Allie's
before
debut.
that, I think there was
Singing
Choke.
debut.
That's also on the album as well. But Money, how are you guys? Do you have a favorite single that you've released so far that you found, playing it live just really works?
Yeah, actually, before they even start. Yeah, Allie does seem to be getting a lot more comfortable both singing and being in front of the mic, although she's doing pretty well here, I must say. Even in late 2022, I thought she was still fairly silent during these interviews. Maybe I just have to watch more. That was my impression. It seemed like she's been opening up a whole lot more for this album release marketing campaign. So good on her. And yeah, wouldn't it be great to hear her do a lead vocal someday? Maybe she will, even though she doesn't like it so much. Maybe, I don't know. One song, just one song.
Okay. Playing it live. Evolve. Yeah, Evolve was her second single. But live it just hits different.
Yeah,
it's a really
How
It was
screams.
definitely not my favorite song on the album.
Same.
But
playing
live,
it live.
it's my favorite.
So that what do you think it is? Because that is true. Like there's certain songs that sometimes you as a recording artist,
Seems that way,
you
Warren.
write it, you record it, you go, yeah, I like it, but it's not my favorite. But then either the crowd reacts more so than, and they go crazy over it. I keep on coming back to that song "Rocket Queen" by Guns N' Roses, and you guys just opened up for Guns N' Roses not that long ago, just recently, and in your hometown, which is amazing. But so is Evolve like that, or what is it? Do you think that pops and reworks it with Evolve?
Ooh,
Right.
with Evolve, I just feel like it's a really high-paced song
Yes.
that gets people like really hyped up.
Moving.
I scream in that song, and it's just it
Yes, she
releases
does.
like so much energy, and it's usually the song that we play at the very end
Of the
Like
set.
our last
set.
song.
It's our last song. It's our encore song.
By the way, it was noted that she did not scream last night. I think it was last night at Liverpool. Maybe I'm wrong about that, actually. Maybe it was... Anyway, in one of the recent shows, she was not screaming because she wasn't feeling well. Hopefully, she's better now.
And
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
just super cool, and we got people to clap. And, like,
Woo!
Well, tell us about this idea of you just joined this Tidal Rising concert series, and I believe you just did something for Halloween, and perhaps it's something that's going to go on where you have immersive Halloween-inspired production. Maybe it'll be for other holidays as well. But how did the whole Tidal Rising concert series come about, and what is it about?
Okay. It's our first time somebody like asking us about that.
Yeah.
So we had to keep it a secret for a while. We recorded it September at the beginning of September
in LA.
In LA.
But yeah, no, we worked with the Diamond Brothers to create this concert, and I don't even know how it works.
It's honestly amazing. Recording it was really different.
It was so
different. It was awesome, and it's a Halloween, but we really wanted to take the opportunity to like celebrate Dia de Muertos because it was going to be released around those dates, and so we dressed up as Catrinas.
Okay.
And we played. It was really fun, and the set. Like it looks like a Day of the Dead altar. They did such an amazing job on it. Honestly, I felt like
we loved that
they
show.
were like, really like respectful to the culture and like honoring it. It just felt really nice.
You know what was really nice? That we recorded it on the Mexican Independence Day.
Oh yeah, it was the Mexican Independence Day.
The Day of the Dead or Day of the Muertos. Yeah,
no,
is that what it was?
That was yesterday.
Cinco de Mayo.
And it was just really cool to like honor our country in that way and our culture and play our songs like that and to be part of this project with so many cool, amazing artists was such an honor.
So you can see that video now.
That's because I'm looking at all the comments in the live chat. Like, where can I see this Tidal Rising concert series? So tell the folks right now where they can see the Warrning in this Tidal Rising concert series.
So this concert is a virtual reality concert where you can have your VR headset.
It's the Meta Quest 2.
In the Meta Quest 2. And you can literally have us in front of your face.
It's crazy. I don't know
crazy.
if you've ever seen it, but you have the people like you.
3 Katrinas in your face.
It's really interesting. It's exciting.
So you need a set of VR goggles.
Okay, wait. I'm a little bit confused because I saw somebody in the comments here say, "Well, is Error going to get a physical release?" And I went and looked up Error's release date, and it looked to be June 24. Was it just a digital release at that point? Because I know that Mayday had come out the year before with half the album on it. But I was just curious. Did they wait a while before putting out CDs and vinyl? I'm glad to have my vinyl copy. I didn't realize. Well, anyway, any info on that I'd be interested in hearing about.
Experience, yes, but I think you can watch the normal video.
You can access it through Facebook. I think I don't have all the deets. I'm sorry.
Oh my god, yeah. We need to get like
the deets. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, if someone were to Google the Warrning Tidal Rising concert series, they would find the information out there. And or ask Siri or whatever, you know.
Yes. You'll find it.
Shout it out the window, and I'm sure someone will yell it back to you. I love it. All right. Well, the other thing I want to talk about, because I've been noticing it the whole interview, and Daniela, this is something I think that comes that we have very much in common, and it's a tough one because it's not been an easy year for us, but. I'm a huge Raiders fan, and who's the biggest Raiders fan out of you three?
Probably me.
Danny knows the most about football.
Yes, a little bit. You know,
but we're part of the Raiders family.
Exactly. We actually went to the first, game in Vegas, like in the stadium of the season.
Yeah, it was amazing.
We were
on the field. Like we were there next to the players.
Damn,
yes, they were.
Damn.
And can I just mention that this was only a few days earlier, and check out Allie's hair here. It's completely dark. So apparently all those highlights just went in, maybe that morning.
Well, I mean, I was at the game last week at the New Orleans Saints, and that was kind of like the dagger in the heart for our season this year. And I don't know what's wrong with it, but I'm so glad that you guys got to see it. Were you able to play at the Allegiant Stadium yet?
Oh no,
not yet.
It's coming. Put it out there.
Got it, Paul.
We played in
Thanks.
various Raiders events.
But we saw Santana play the national anthem.
Yeah, it was cool.
Woo. There's Plunkett. There's you and Jim Plunkett. I love it.
Wow. Nice.
So what started you guys off being Raider fans? Was it because when the Raiders would come down to Mexico and play their games? Because they played a bunch of games. They were like the home team in Mexico for a while, right?
Yeah, you know, they have a very big Mexican fan base. Actually, I think that's kind of like how because we have been with an airline. Is that how you?
There was this partnership with the Raiders with an airline here in Mexico. There's a direct flight from Mexico City
Vive.
to Las Vegas. Because of them, it's like the official Raiders flight. So we were invited to participate in the launch, and that's how we became a part of the Raiders family. Yes. And then we just went to the stadium and we met so many people, and we just became really big fans. So it's been awesome.
Yeah. Well, there you go. I'm going to manifest myself into that wish to play Allegiant Stadium, because I want to go there and play for the Raiders as well. At least do. I know that Orianthi, one of our guitar players that we've been able to play with over the years in the Alice Cooper band, she just recently played, and I think she played with Carlos Santana at the Raider game in a recent one as well.
Awesome!
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So there you go. Well, you know what? It's been a tough year for us so far, but you know what?
Wait, one more thing while they're still talking about the Raiders. Was there an actual location in Mexico where the Raiders would occasionally play? Let me know about that, if so. I'm just curious.
We're still going to be Raiders fans. Right?
Exactly.
All right, let me move more back on to the Warrning, the music. I just kept on seeing your sweater, and I was like, I have to bring up the Raiders, man. I'm such a huge Raiders fan. I usually have some sort of Raiders gear on at whatever time. I even have a guitar that I flip up, and I especially do it when we're playing Kansas City or we're playing Denver. I make sure to flip it up, and it's the Raiders logo, and I get booed constantly for it. So it's always nice.
Oh, yeah.
But also, new things that are happening, because there's so much stuff that's going on with the Warrning right now. Talk to me about the Imperfects Netflix special. There was a song in the Imperfects, and how did that come about, and what is it, and how can people see that? Obviously going on to Netflix, but what's it about?
Can you believe that it was a surprise for us
For
as
us,
well?
like we didn't know it was happening.
We were just like, wait, what?
Until we saw a post on our social media, like, oh my god, there's a song of ours there. That's insane.
Which song is it, and where are people gonna be able to see it?
No, it's Enter Sandman.
Oh yes,
It's Enter Sandman. So
nice.
Actually, since we don't, own I think it was just like they asked Metallica for permission, and it was just a surprise for us.
It was awesome, though.
And it was your version of that song, though.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's perfect.
The song
Rights owners
that was so important
make
to
those
us
choices.
in the beginning of our career just keeps on giving for
Yeah.
us, and in so many ways, it's just really awesome.
And even before it was released, it was actually part of the trailer for a new Marvel video game, and I think I
remember that.
I remember that.
I had that too.
Yeah.
That came out before
the actual song
came out.
I think I literally almost fainted.
We're part of the Marvel universe now. Hey.
You guys are part of.
Thanks for that info, Carl and Mike. Yeah, I'll have to look into that. That's really interesting.
A lot of family. You're part of Raider Nation. You're part of the Marvel family. I love it. Let me ask you this: because that song has been so instrumental in your careers thus far, have you ever had any direct contact with any of the members of Metallica?
When we made our first cover, Kirk tweeted about it, and he reposted it.
Yes.
And
they know of our existence. Like, they actually gave us feedback on the song, and they really liked it.
They told us that they loved it.
But through an email. Like, we haven't...
through management. But we haven't met them. We met
Lars's wife.
Yeah, we met Lars's wife.
Nice.
She introduced us. She's really nice.
Along with Matt Pinfield. Oh my god. This was
a month ago.
This was like a month ago.
But we have yet to meet them. Hopefully, we get to... Hopefully. Throwing it out there.
Metallica's got to get on the stick here.
So,
you never know.
You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking Metallica, they're Raider fans. They're
No!
definitely Raider fans. They have to be. They have to be. Bay Area, they cut their teeth in the Bay Area. I know they were formed in Los Angeles, but they cut their teeth in the Bay Area. They better be Raider fans. If they're not, I would be very disappointed.
It would be so funny if we actually all just like meet at a Raiders game.
That'd be
and
hilarious.
just like
I'm there. I'm there. As long as the Raiders actually show up to play, unlike they did against the Saints. And I'm telling you, and the whole thing was I was in New Orleans. We did a short little run. We did Tulsa, and then we did a show with a band called the Misfits in Dallas. Really cool. And thanks everyone for showing up, all you Alice people faithful. Then we went to New Orleans for a private Halloween party, and we got to go see the game there. Raider Nation showed up big time. It's just that unfortunately the team did not. So it was a tough one. But then again, when you have a game that bad, every Raider fan was just walking around laughing, and just like what can you do? And they weren't feeling threatened because there was no red in the other people's uniforms or no blue or anything. It's like the Saints colors are black and gold, Raiders are silver and black. So it was kind of like everybody got along.
Yeah, okay, that's nice.
Good.
Yeah, it's nice that Lars's wife at least acknowledged them. I mean, they weren't there to acknowledge or not acknowledge. I mean, I kid a little bit. I mean, Metallica, getting a little bit you want to keep your relevance, you might just have to start meeting some of these new artists. And I'm just kidding. I'm just spouting off. I actually have no idea what their relationship is like with the more modern rockers. Hopefully, though, they're plugged in, especially after that cover.
So anyway, it looks like we have some sort of person in the chat that's being a little bit of a troll, so you can remove them, Mr. Burgles, or whoever you are.
Out!
And
Get out.
Fine with us. We're going to move on to our fan of the week. So a lot of you guys have amazing fan base all over the world. The Warrning does. We over here at In the Trenches also have an amazing fan base and support following base. If you'd like to be part of it, all you have to do is hit that like and subscribe button right now. That would be great. And let's go for the fan of the week right now. Vic, what do you think? Yeah?
Awesome. Yeah. Let's do it. Ooh.
And Vic.
Okay. So Ryan's fan, right? Perhaps? I don't know.
This week's in the Trenches fan of the week is James McWilliams. There he is playing my Gibson Les Paul. I love it. But you know what? He doesn't really play guitar all that much. He's usually got a baby with him. It's not a real baby, but he's definitely a $1 billion baby with him. And,
right. Okay.
baby,
Okay. I got it.
He's got. He's such was a cool force on this last tour run that we did. He held out. He brought out little flags for everybody on the show, on the song called Freedom. Passed it out to the entire crowd.
You're probably right, Mike.
He follows us. And
but at least
congratulations, James McWilliams, for being the fan of the week. And I must ask, the Warning, your fan base, do you have some people that travel and sort of fly and see you and have some big supporters? And would you like to make a shout out to them?
Yes, indeed.
Oh my God!
Many
Of course.
Yeah.
I saw in the chat that Pela is here. And Pela's
Strong That is also here.
Yes.
So we also have a Patreon page. So we know a lot of the fans through that community. But it's always amazing to see like these people who are from all over the world. Usually when we play in LA, this happens. So people from Europe travel there, people from South America, from all over the US.
When we play like our big shows in Mexico.
Yeah, everyone travels and they meet each other in person for the first time.
It's
so nice to see. So shout out to everyone.
There it is. And that's a hard question for me to answer when people ask me, is like, where do you think your biggest fan base is? Who are your favorite fans? Because you don't want to discount anybody. Everybody's different, but everybody's the same in the sense that everybody is so passionate. Have you noticed that certain countries are a little bit more over the top?
Argentina?
Because for me, Mexico would be one of those
Yes.
fan bases. Because
Mexico.
Mexican fans are over the top for Alice Cooper. I mean, when we came down there for that festival that we all met at in Monterrey, it was crazy. It was amazing.
So yeah, definitely our Mexican fans, like our home fans, but also from South America as well.
Yes,
So,
Argentina,
Colombia, Peru, Bolivia. We have some really passionate fans, and we don't get to visit them that often. But hopefully next year we visit South America. I know that it's in the works, and we're working for it because they give us so much passion and love and support, and we would like to give it back.
And this did happen.
And so what does the rest of the year look like for you guys? I know you're leaving on this Canadian tour tomorrow, and what happens after that? Do you run out the rest of the year, or how long does this one go for with 3 days grace? And what happens, what are the plans for early next year so far?
Okay, so we have this month long.
That's a few gigs.
3 days grace.
Yes.
And we come back to Mexico for like 2 days, and we leave for Colombia because we're playing Rock al Parque, which is this very big rock festival in Colombia.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We play in Colombia, and then after Colombia, we play in Peru.
It's
our first time in
ever.
Peru, and it's our headlining show there. It's going to be awesome. And we close the year in Peru.
Yes.
It's our last show of the year.
And that's
it's
like
just very exciting.
December 7th?
7? Yeah, that's when we close the year with touring. It's going to be
awesome. And then
is a Machu Picchu where all the really cool ruins are in Peru? That would be a great place to stage a concert. Although not very logical logistically, but you can dream. Where would be the best place to have this band play? Think about that. Best spot in the world.
Then next you'll take a couple weeks off, and maybe a month or so off, and then you're back out, 2023. Who knows what's happening there? You'll just hit the road and keep building and building and building.
Exactly. Hopefully, that's the plan.
Well, the best way to build is actually find out where, let the people know where they can get in touch with you, and that's why we have a list of.
There you go.
There you go. A nice list of your social media of choice, folks. If you want to go check out The Warrning, find out more about the sisters right now. Why don't you guys, for those that are listening on the audio broadcast, tell people where to go find out more about your band, The Warrning.
Okay, so we're The Warrning Rock Band on almost every social media platform. We also have a Patreon page in which, if you want to get like really personal with us and meet a really cool fan base and community, you can find that out on the page. And we try to keep in touch with our fans as much as possible.
We can.
There we go.
And our official page is thewarningband.com.
Yes.
Okay, and
yeah, the Rome Coliseum would be pretty nice. Nîmes looked pretty good, frankly. Yep. Sphere in Las Vegas, that would be a really amazing spot. Red Rocks, maybe. The pyramids. Anyway.
I actually saw that you guys took a shout out to one of your Patreons earlier today on your own official Instagram. So there you go. We will be definitely
that works too, Brian.
hyping up this podcast and this episode for the next few weeks. And then, everybody here that's watching right now, if you could do us a favor, hit that like and subscribe button, and then tell people about The Warrning, hashtag The Warrning, and of course, hashtag In the Trenches with Ryan Roxy. So there you go. I can't thank you guys enough for coming on the podcast and taking a little bit of time out of your day. I want to know one last thing about being that you are such a young band, but you do have so much experience behind you already. Is there any sort of saying or advice that you might give to other people that are watching and forming in bands and saying, hey, I want to do what they're doing right now that has helped you? Do you have any sort of band advice or life advice for our listeners on In the Trenches today?
When everyone, but when we received this question, we're like, oh my God. Because we feel like so
I feel like
new
I should be receiving advice instead of giving it. I feel like something that has really helped us in life in general, but I feel like it's a really important part of working creative outlets. But communication is key. Make sure to always communicate what you're feeling in a processed way, and calm way. But people can't guess what's on your mind. You can't expect people to understand everything that you're going through. You need to communicate for that to happen. And also just be kind. I feel like kindness goes such a long way, especially in our line of work, because we meet so many people every day, and to leave with a good impression, but also like with a good taste in your mouth. That makes sense in Spanish. I know it's not.
Say it in Spanish then, because that's good.
Con un sabor en la boca. Because it leaves you you really want to go back to those places where people treated you nicely, and just give it your all. Because every show is even if there's only 20 people in the crowd, those 20 people like this could be the
They're
show
so excited
of their
to be
lives,
there,
and they're
yeah.
just really excited to be there. So we always try to give the best show we possibly can everywhere, and that always makes a difference, not only to the crowd but also like to your crew and to like
Be
the
true to
band itself.
yourselves.
Yeah, it's a lot of hard work, but yay.
There you go. Well, thanks so much for giving all your time today and all the great answers that you had. Go check out The Warning, their new album, Air. I know there was a question earlier. Is it going to be available as a physical release coming out soon? And when can people expect that? Talk to us about it.
Okay.
Yes,
we
the
have the
CDs.
CDs.
We do have some.
The vinyls are still
In the
being
works.
printed.
Because pandemic backed up all
A lot of things.
all the
Yeah.
factories.
But
I remember
we
that
have
now.
CDs now. You can get them
But they're-
signed in our store. You just hit up thewarningband.com, and our online store should be there. And yes, thank you for your time, Ryan. It's been
Yes.
awesome being here with everybody. And
Maybe we'll do a little tour catch up at one point next year. And maybe, hopefully, because we've thrown it out there to the world a couple times, we'll see each other at the Allegiant Stadium, at a Raiders game, or we'll see each other again on the same stages somewhere, in this crazy world of rock and roll. Once again, let's put up those links one more time, Vic, for The Warning. Obviously, if people want to come and check out any more, choose your social platform of choice, your social media platform. The Warning
Right.
Rock Band, pretty much on every single.
Just worth mentioning too, they don't really have many other accounts besides this. Each of the girls has an Instagram account. Other than that, I don't think there's anything. So if you get approached on Facebook by Daniela Villarreal, it's probably not Danny, just so you know.
Social media platform, but the main one is thewarningband.com. You can probably find all those links there. For next week, folks, I don't know where our guest is going to be. All I care about is today we had The Warning. Thank you so much, Alejandra, Daniela, Paulina. Thank you so much for being part of the Big Rock Show. And everybody, thank you for being a part of listening to it. Make sure you tell a friend, tell an enemy. I don't care, because we'll be back with another episode of In the Trenches really soon. Thank you so much, Federica, for helping out with the script.
Yeah.
Vic Chalfant for producing, putting up all those great pictures. And you know what? The Warning. Love you guys. We'll see you again soon, okay?
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much.
See you guys next time.
Well, next time, everybody enjoy the ride. Have a good one, folks. See ya.
All right. Man, that was pretty cool. There was a lot of useful info in there. And yeah, I'd kind of forgotten that there was a whole vinyl shortage back in late 2022. At some point, an Adele album came out. I think that was 2021. But that tied up all of the vinyl plants for like 6 months or something. Nobody could get a record pressed for a while there. So, but I'm glad they worked that out. I happen to have a vinyl copy of Error, and I really love it. Also, Keep Me Fed, of course. I have to go get the other two. I've just got those on CD right now. Wonderful interview, though. Definitely of its time. It's already aged quite a bit, just in the fact that, well, now they've got yet another album out, and there's a whole new level, a whole new step up for the band, really. Getting more and more popular. The songs are getting... more popular for sure. I know that people have varying opinions on the songs. I happen to really like the album, and as a matter of fact, the more I hear the songs, the more they grow on me. And anytime they cart them out live, like with Sharks earlier, it's always a triumph on stage. So I'm very happy about that. It's really great to have found this band. I've only just recently found them. My first time hearing them was on this channel in January, late January. So it's been a wonderful ride. Yeah, at that point, the song Sick wasn't even out yet. And I noticed one of the comments in there said, "Oh, this is so sick. You girls are so sick." And I'm like, prescient. Nobody knew there was going to be a song called Sick at that point. So, yeah, I really like the album. I like the songs on the album in particular. The production, I'll have to admit, I favor Error and the earlier things. I don't have a problem, though, with the new stuff. It is kind of a new way of presenting them. And it opens up a lot of doors. And they can go wherever they want. It's they could keep doing what they're doing now, They could decide they're going to bring the focus in on one angle this way for an album and then maybe swivel over this way. Or, I mean, there's no telling. They're still so young. This is still the very beginning of their career, even as it's their fourth album. So that's worth remembering. If you happen to be disappointed in the production, just keep in mind this is just one album. This is just one era, and it's not likely to be the final answer to the Warrning. I think that they're still growing, and there's still a lot going on with them. So, oh really? So the vinyl's selling out hard on the site anyway. You can probably get it on Amazon, perhaps. So at least it's out there. But yeah, that's interesting. That's a good sign. I have to get on their site at some point and get those other 2 records on vinyl. Anyway, that's going to do it for today. I've got some work that I've got to go to in about an hour, so I'm going to get ready for that. I want to thank you all for joining me on this. This was really cool. It was a great interview. Thanks for people keeping up the, well, not the pressure, but just reminding me about this particular one. I've got many more on my list that I want to do, so maybe we'll see what it comes down to. If it's 2 live casts a week, whatever I can work out. By the way, I probably should mention that I'm going to be doing some gigs with an Allman Brothers tribute band in August. This just came up on my last live stream. I got the text and then I talked with the band owner or manager. It's Idlewild South in North Carolina, but we're playing a gig in Richmond on August 3rd at the Tin Pan. Then we're going to be up near Philly on August 7th, playing at the Bensalem Amphitheater. It's an outdoor amphitheater in a town just north of Philly, maybe even closer to Trenton, somewhere in there. But it's supposed to be a very nice space. So that'll be Wednesday the 7th. And then on the 8th, we're going to be in Pittsburgh at the Craft Bar and Grill, I believe it is. So if you happen to be in any of those 3 locales and feel like some Allman Brothers music, stop on in. And if you do, by all means, come up and say hello. Would love to meet y'all. Okay. Thanks so much for joining me on this. I'm going to sign off now. Really appreciate your support. And in the comments, let me know what you thought about this if you haven't already. I appreciate everybody that was in the chat. I saw you, but I've learned not to use my keyboard while doing these live streams. So, all right. Thanks, everybody.